Hello, everybody, and welcome. We got a wonderful Zelda 2 randomizer race coming up tonight between Unos and Nirm. I'm joined by Angry Larry. Larry, did I pronounce Nirm's name correctly?
I believe you did. You might let it roll, the R's roll a little bit more, but that sounds about right.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure I got it. We got a couple great runners here. You think you got a prediction? You got a Vegas line on this race?
It's going to be too close to call. It's going to come down to the Long Great Palace. I would be shocked if it didn't.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually looked at these flags and promptly forgot them. So let's do a little rundown here. We do have a Long Great Palace, as Larry mentioned. Is there anything else strange going on?
Well, if anybody watched the 2017 Zelda 2 randomizer tournament, these are hybrid finals flags in a way. There's a Long Great Palace. Thunderbird is not required, but he's not removed altogether. You still may have to defeat Thunderbird to get beyond and get to Dark Link, but it's not a guarantee.
That is an interesting choice that they made. I like it. They're going to be starting with fewer heart containers as well.
Yeah, sorry about that. They are starting with 3 heart containers, maximum 7 in the seed, and you can see them starting right around with the raft tile and whatever is the right side of Parappa or Fairy Cave. And guess what?
Look at this start.
Yunus got confused. He thought that was a palace. He was going to go in and dive, but no, he was resetting the encounter as Parappa Cave.
You do not see starts like this too terribly often in Rando. This is great.
Yeah, and you come out to a little alcove. I thought it was going to go nowhere but that other cave as well. We got Trophy Cave. It's going to be our first item in the game.
Yeah, so how many caves are we looking for, Larry?
There are 5 total caves on the western continent, and plus a grass tile, and that's excluding the 2 items you can potentially find in Death Mountain. But you find the biggest item of them all on the western continent is that raft, and both players are going to be picking that up right away.
They'll be happy to see that. The alternative to those 5 caves and the grass tile that Larry mentioned is Death Mountain, which is not where people want to go. They're not a popular hangout spot in Hyrule.
With these flags, there is no candle, so you can't really see the enemies for the most part. It's not something that's going to really stop either of these runners, but it's going to, it's definitely going to cause a little bit of trouble. We find the second item cave here, the heart container cave.
Yep, and a red Dyra looks like chilling right up front. Question in chat, are there magic container requirements? I don't believe that there are, and what he's asking is if in the vanilla game you actually need a certain number of magic containers to get spells, but the randomizer we usually turn those requirements off because they slow things down a bit, and they are in fact turned off.
There are definitely mixed small and large enemies, and this is littered with Dyras. This is crazy.
Yeah, a couple red ones and at least one orange one. And with 3 heart containers, and a Gorilla behind him, so that's, adding to the pain. With only 3 heart containers to start, this is not an easy cave.
No, but Yunos gets through it, and he's going to get a magic container for his efforts.
Alright, not the worst item to grab, but Nir, he just gave up, didn't he?
Yeah, he could not get through it. He's going to go and try again. He's got the raft, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to go to Eastern Continent and pick up these P bags right in that lava tile. He has a chance to get a 500-point P bag. He's going to pick a few up, maybe get a couple of attack levels.
You like this move, Larry?
I think it's actually a pretty good move. He finds the smallest of the P bag. There's only one 200-point P bag on the Eastern Continent, but look at all those terrain tiles there.
Yeah.
There's a red jar in that one. He did not check the forest tile. There's 4 forest tiles, or 3 forest tiles on the Eastern Continent. 2 of them have potential P bags, and 1 of them has the fairy.
Yunos found P-Bag Cave and is, leveling up the hard way by killing stuff and doing a pretty good job of it.
Well, that's the one advantage. We have the Tana Nubaru, or Nabaru, on Nirm's side, so we're going to get our first spell of the game.
Wow. Glove pickup in P-Bag Cave for Yunos. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. This could be a quick one.
Yeah, we'll see what spell item is in this. So required items, Dick Shake. Take us through what's required and what's mostly required.
The raft is always required. Let's see. The glove is like 99.9% required. Very, very rarely is it not required. And then other than that, you need the boots. Sometimes you need the boots. Sometimes you need the hammer. That's really about it as far as items go, but then spells you need Reflect to beat Palace 4. They don't have to beat Thunderbird, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You don't need to pick that up.
So that you would need, gosh, I don't know, maybe Fairy Spell to get through key doors.
Probably potentially fairy for key doors, or even to it makes it faster. It's a convenient item like the boots, or maybe even the flute. Very rarely do we get absolutely flute blocked, but because the boots let you walk around on the water.
Yeah.
But it certainly could be convenient for a shortcut as well.
So what was the spell that Nirm got out of there? I missed it.
He grabbed shield.
Oh, okay.
And we have the water tile as well on Nirm's side. And Yunos find the other side of Saria. If he has the letter from Bagu or the fairy spell, he can cross and get to Saria that way.
Yep. And looks like Nirm's getting mewed to death there. There's invisible enemies over on that continent, and Z2 runners like to curse those guys because they just show up and murder you out of nowhere.
But he's going right back, and look at this. We have random encounters on the overworld. That means if you grab an encounter on a forest tile, it could be the forest tile encounter, or it could be any other encounter. And Nirm's finding out that it was the lava encounter. That's the worst encounter you can find. And we have either Palace 2, it's Palace 2 here on the Western Continent. Yep.
Not going to do it because he has no way of getting through doors right now. He doesn't have the fairy spell or the magic key, so the randomizer expects you to have one of those 2 things before you even step foot inside of a palace.
Yeah, and these are not you can run the flags with extra keys in palaces, and that would turn all the P bags into keys. But these are not extra key flags, and it's not always a guarantee what palaces will have how many keys. They get shuffled within the palace sets. Palace 1, 2, and 5, and 3, 4, and 6 are their own palace set.
There's our grass tile. More magic containers. Wow.
And the town of Gerunia. So while Nirm is exploring this eastern continent here, and he's going around trying to find these P bags and maybe luck out with a like the required spell in these towns, Unos is grabbing he's exploring the western continent, and he's also getting the items out of the item places. We saw one cave. There's Great Palace on the western continent. We saw one cave, Dig Shake, blocked by a boulder.
Yeah, that is correct. That means that there's still one cave left for them to find, I believe, though.
Yeah, and I believe I've seen one entrance to Death Mountain. There's the right side of Saria. This will be a free spell for him. There's Maze Island on Nirm's side. That will contain a palace and 2 items as well.
Finding the raft as early as they did and being that close to the raft spot really just opens things up in terms of where they can go. And you can see they're both choosing very, very different paths.
That was Palace 4 on Maze Island.
So Nirm's going to go item hunting. There, he finds one. Just a heart, which actually, honestly, when you start with 3, is not the worst thing in the world to find. What was that spell that Unos just got?
It was the spell.
Okay. Could be required. Unlocks the hidden item in the town of New Kasuto in the eastern continent. So could be a spell item or something like that.
Yeah, it certainly also could be something that's required in a chain of events that will lead you to a required item.
Town of Mido. Can't get downstabbed yet, so I think Unos has found all the towns except for Rauru.
Yeah, Rauru seems to be the only town I've seen on my list that he has not found as well. I believe there's one side of Death Mountain he has not seen, and potentially both sides of Jump Cave.
I think this area is about done for him, though. He's going to need to find a cave out of there or some other way to get out of there to explore the rest of this continent.
According to my list here, my tracking, Death Mountain so far, unless I missed him popping into Jump Cave, Death Mountain is probably the only way around. He may have not hit a grave tile, or he wouldn't have fairy anyway to get through it.
Yeah, unless he went the opposite direction, I guess.
Yeah. We might have seen... No, we haven't seen that because we saw them go through Parappa Cave. Here's the other item in Maze Island here for Nirm.
Wow, that guy's just got a ton of HP, and okay. The boots really also opens this map up.
So you want to talk about something that is not linear. This seed is not linear. You can do pretty much anything you want right now. Yep. And especially jump into lava in the dark.
There's been a lot of lava in this seed, that is for sure. So that's interesting. I wonder if you need to go grab those boots to open up the rest of the western continent.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one palace. I think it was 2 in Great Palace. I don't think I've seen the 3rd.
And a town and a cave missing as well.
So Unos is going to up a very quick raft spot there. He can go and try to avoid the lava encounter, and that's what he's going to do. Nirm did that before.
Nice job.
Yeah, so you see Unos, he pause buffered there, and it's a very typical strategy in Zelda 2 speedrunning, is when you're in the overworld, the enemies spawn based on a time counter and a step counter. And you can time it out with a pause to see where they spawn. 3 enemies spawn in cardinal directions from you, and then you can react to where they spawn to walk away and avoid the encounter and save time.
And Nirm, if he can get out of this graveyard tile, is gonna pick up the water tile here with his boots. Okay. Medicine could be useful. Wonder if we'll see him go back and pick up all that stuff that Unos did. He's going to have the boots, though, so he'll be able to... Yeah. Forget that cave.
Yeah, and Unos is now in Nabaru, and he'll be picking up the shield spell. Nirm is in the north. Now, I don't know if you can access this area from the other side, Parappa Cave, but I don't remember that river or lake.
Yeah, it's a little unclear to me where that area is that they came out at in relation to the rest of the map. I mean, look at that. There's Rauru, and that might be the last cave that they need right there as well.
Yeah, and the other palace might be there. Interesting to see if anything else connects it. I guess Death Mountain would connect it if that's the last cave.
Possibly, yeah. It is also not terribly uncommon for one of the Death Mountain entrances to just be a total bust.
Yeah, the camping spot, I think we call them. It's when the cave comes out into the... There's a fire spell. Fire is normally linked to another spell in more common flag sets that we race. But in these this race today, fire is just fire. It won't be linked to anything else.
So nobody's going to use it for anything other than swag points, I guess. Look at that tiny Valley of Death. It still has the... Oh my goodness. I think Unos is probably saying some funny things right now. I wish I could hear what he's saying.
So that was Death Mountain there on Nirm's side. It was only one cave you can get to, and it was one of the caves with the elevators, and you can get to 3 different areas from there. Medicine Cave here. That means Magic Container Cave is going to be blocked by the hammer.
Palace won in that tiny Valley of Death, and Unos is just going to dive right in. So he's banking on getting a couple keys, getting a little lucky here. There are 4 possible key drops, I want to say, if I'm remembering right, and 3 key doors, so certainly possible that he makes it through. He gets lucky.
I believe there are a couple P bags as well that could randomize into keys as well. So there's more potential locations for keys, but we may not see 4. Nirm found the cross and he kind of backed away from it, but then decided he better get it because the Eastern Continent was handling him pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. So far, Unos has not run into any key doors, which is pretty good for him.
So Palace 2 also has the luxury of having the drippers inside of it, and the drippers in the normal game would drop bots worth, what are they worth, 3 XP?
2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3, yeah. In Randomizer, they can be any enemy, and they retain the bot health, or at least for now. Don't tell the programmer that we like that. So you can have Magos worth up to 500 points that drop from the drippers. And it's a great place to spend like a minute and grab a few levels.
Yeah, Nirm in particular is a big proponent of that strategy, as he finds either 3 or 6, but he hasn't been down south to grab that glove yet, so...
No, he missed everything south. I mean, he's doing what Unos did not do. And Unos did everything Nirm has not done right now, including Valley of Death. The only thing they've done the same was grab the shield spell and the raft.
Yep. Well, that's going to about do it for Nirm. I don't think there's much else he can do in this area.
He can go through Fairy Cave backwards, but that seems like a time loss. He'll up A.
Unos is running into problems as well. He's got one more path he can try to take before he's key blocked, and it's a left, so he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, that left is most likely going to lead you to the item room, and he's going to need a key to get there. Although there are many rooms you can do in the breakaway bridge room could be in the way, or the...
He already passed the breakaway bridge room.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah. Trying to think. Could be the stair room with the key at the top. That might have been there.
But that would be another elevator down, and I don't know if you can then get I guess the ferry, the elevator shaft with the ferry on the right side.
You'd have a tea room at the bottom, I think. Upside down tea room at the bottom.
Right. That one still exists, yes. So in case you didn't know from that conversation, one of the things the randomizer does is it takes the rooms in the palace and it rearranges them I guess like randomizer should. But there's a guarantee that you're going to be able to get to every room. No room's going to be inaccessible. You're never going to be, with few exceptions, you'll never be soft locked by taking an elevator or drop. More likely. The only time is when keys are involved and you don't have a key to open a door or magic for fairy. Nirm finds the drippers. 50-point Stoutfusses. How long would you ride this train?
I mean, that's not very good, right? Like, am I correct?
I think that's base XP for those Stoutfusses.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about for drippers. Like, I'm not a dripper guy in general. That's just not my style. But I would think if you're gonna grind drippers, you want something better than 50 points apiece. I don't know.
But I tell you what, I may be taking the life levels. We have Maze Island here for Unos, so he's going to grab the heart container and then hopefully wind up getting the boots. Yeah, 50 is probably a little bogus. He might want attack 3 and then he's going to get out. And there's his attack 3.
But now he can probably kill those guys in one hit.
To me, on flags like this, I would take a life with more seriously than I would anything else, and I would really try to, get a few life levels extra than I normally would. Just because you're going to start low, and he's already back up to 4, but he can only go as high as 7, and it is going to be a point in time where you're going to get all your items, and you're not even going to look for items anymore, and you're gonna might regret that in Great Palace, especially a long one.
Yeah. That is. I don't think we can really underemphasize how much the long GP is influencing these guys as they go through. It's tough, and you need to make sure you've got the life levels and the fortitude to survive that challenge at the end of this game.
So there was the jump cave. So we probably did see that on Unos' side prior. We know everything else is in this area.
Yep. Yeah, I think we found everything in the west now. There we go. Boots for Unos, so any lead that Nirm had from those boots is about to be gone, because Unos is going to start doing the exact stuff that Nirm was doing a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, and because everything's so wide open right now, based upon the layout of the continents and the items that each player got, you're really not at a disadvantage for getting an item second, or you're not really at that disadvantage unless your opponent puts it to work. And Unos is gonna dip 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe he was hoping for a right-hand turn that's gonna lead him to a quick key and an up A.
He might have been digging for keys. That's a good observation. He can't clear 4 because Karok is the boss of Palace 4, and you need Reflect to kill him. So he was either item digging or key digging. It's one of those two things.
And all good randomizers have their memes, and one of them is the item required for Reflect is in Palace 4.
Yep, and I mean, they don't have many spells left to check, right? They have the medicine. Still a few towns, I guess, in the east that we haven't seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen the free spells in Kasuto or New Kasuto. We haven't even seen the towns, obviously. And then Nirm has the medicine to go cash in for the Tanamito. But there are potentially 3 huge spells that they need to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once they do get Fairy or Magic Key, you'll see them start to tackle these palaces without hesitation. So that southern area has got not a whole lot going on for it in the eastern continent, so take a dip up north.
And that is not the water tile. Any special terrain tile, trap tile, encounter tile, whatever you want to call it, will be surrounded by 8 identical tiles, so you can easily identify them. The only variance from that is if it somehow spawns near a raft tile, the raft tile will overwrite one of the other tiles.
Yeah, you still really wanted him to step on that one, though, didn't you?
Oh, I really did, yeah. I wanted to give him the business. There is an item on a desert tile somewhere. There's the glove for Nirm.
Yep.
And there are several desert tiles on the eastern continent. Let's see if this is the item one. No. There will be a little perch where the item is on top of.
Here's a town, though. Oh, it's a good one. So, Unos does have the spell, so he'll be able to get both items and the spell out of this town. It's a pretty big pickup.
Yeah, the old lady requires in randomizer between 5 and 7 magic containers to pick up. And it was either 5 or 7 Unos was able to get in. What do we call that item that that Unos just grabbed?
Well, that was a pea bag. I think I know what you want me to say, but...
He just got dig shook.
Yep. He just got dig shook. That's what happens. I mean, pea bag is not the worst one to find. Red jar, I think, is the worst one.
Unos doesn't. Yeah, red jar is definitely the worst. Unos is not caring about that spell right now. He's going to go right to this door here with the spell, and grab this item.
Oh, okay. Not a terrible item to find. That hammer. Let him get that one rock blocked cave, as well as the boulder that's hanging out on Death Mountain. Although, really, like at this point, do they need items? We still don't know if they really need a lot of items other than maybe the magic key.
This one's going to be the sign here. Well, still hasn't gone to Braru, but life in New Kasuto. Now I would still search for items because there are 3 known spells out of 8 for Unos, and we know there's 4 out of 8. None of them are really essential to beating a seed there. There's Jump. The medicine was Jump. So the 3 required spells are going to be in Rudo, and you need the trophy. Darunia, you're going to need the kid. And then one's going to be free in Kasuto.
So it'll be interesting to see what the Kasuto spell is. If it's fairy, they can start knocking out palaces, and the other spell items then might also be in those palaces. But if it's something like Reflect, that would be an indicator that they need to go to Death Mountain or somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's a good point to reset here. The logic of the game dictates you would need fairy or the magic key to really be able to complete them, and we have neither.
Do have a downstab pickup for Nirm, so that's going to make him much more competent in combat, and actually it helps you move faster, I think, as well, because you can start skipping enemies a lot easier. Which is a good rule of thumb in Rando, honestly, or even Zelda 2 in general. If you don't need the XP, then don't kill it. Just go. That was also my favorite downward stab message, by the way.
For some reason, I was flaking on if he was getting upstab or downstab, so I was glad that was the message. It, jogged the memory. So for those wondering, who, why Unos got a P bag in New Kasuto, like what happened there is the newest version of the randomizer. Well, ever since version 3.0 of the randomizer, what did we get there? Oh, he was just picking up what he didn't get before. Spell, yeah. So the newest version, the 3.0 or 3.x of Zelda 2 randomizer, put the P-bag caves into play when it comes to important items. There's one on the western continent, and there are 2 on the eastern continent. And because you're adding 3 caves into the mix, you're also adding 3 non-essential items in the mix, non-major items, small items, whatever you want to call them. They can be P-bags of any variety that can appear on the overworld, the 50-point ones, 100, 200, or 500. There's a red jar, or there's the one-up doll. So those get shuffled around, and then when it comes time to shuffle around the major items, those get in the mix as well. So you'll see 3 of them in the seed. We found 1 so far with the P-bag in New Kasuto.
Yep. Unos picked up his medicine, and he's got the boots now, so he's going to go check, see what's going on up in the northern part, grab the... what spell was it up there? I don't even remember. Fire?
Fire, yes.
And whatever this other item was that I also don't remember.
Well, he's in Jump Cave right now. He did not walk completely around to. Oh, is he in the top area right now?
Yeah,
That was the other end of Jump Cave. Okay. So Jump Cave did come through. Does that river go all the way around, or was there a bridge somewhere?
I think that river would still block off the stuff that they wanted to get to. Yeah. Niram's going back east. He does not have the hammer, so Unos will probably pick up that hammer cave, and we might even see him go to Death Mountain. While he's over here, because there is an entrance to Death Mountain up here as well.
Yeah, he still has not found either of the P-Bag caves in the east or the desert tile, as far as I'm aware of. There's Niram finding Palace 3 or 6 on the eastern continent.
Mm-hmm. And I think the only palace we haven't seen then is 5.
Yeah, 5 would be on the eastern continent as well. It's just we don't know which one's 3 or which one's 6. There's the other town. That's probably Kasuto right there.
Yeah. So they're really kind of seesawing a bit. One person gets a lead in one area, and then the other person catches up and gets a little bit more of a lead, and then the other person catches up and trading back and forth.
So Unos did not see that town. That town was in the complete northeast of the area. He got to the palace, he got to the medicine cave, and he medicine cave, and he up-A'd after he got the cross. So he did not find Rauru, I believe.
That's true. He also missed the other entrance to Death Mountain, which I don't know if the rock was nearby or not, but...
And there's a P-Bag in the P-Bag cave.
Good job.
I don't know what he expected.
Here's the last cave in the west, the Magic Container Cave. Oh. That's a good find. Trophy pickup will get Unos another spell.
Yeah, so all of a sudden Unos is not sweating spells unless he has to, find the kid and get the spell out of Darunia, which, depending on where the spells lie or if, Thunderbird is or isn't required, he may have to.
Yeah, and it's interesting that this is a Thunderbird optional seed because we know Thunderspell is maybe not guaranteed to be spell item blocked, but very likely to be, and we might see him skip it.
Have you ever played... Well, let's see what these spells are first. New Kasuto is Thunder, or
Okay.
just regular Kasuto is Thunder.
Well, there goes that.
And Fairy
Fairy.
over in Rudos. Yeah, so we need the kid to get Reflect. It's something that is required. So we're going to have to search for that last magic item.
Wow, so you had to get the spell and then go over, grab the spell item, which was the hammer, then come back and grab the trophy to get the fairy spell, which will now allow Unos to start knocking out palaces.
Yeah, it might enable him to get the kid as well through the use of Fairy. Is Niram in the other P-Bag cave now?
It
looks like he is.
Looks like it, yeah.
And with Fairy, he's going to get Downstab, and Niram gets the magic container in P-Bag Cave. My question to you was, have you ever played a Long Great Palace Thunderbird optional?
I believe so. Not very often. A lot of people don't want to turn Thunderbird off, which confuses me a little bit. I guess Thunderbird can serve as a good marker, that you're going the right way. If you know you have to beat him. If you don't, if he's optional and you find Thunderbird, then you're like, well, do I waste the time to try and kill this guy, or it could just be a totally different direction. So.
Yeah, I was wondering, with so many rooms in Great Palace, how many times that you were aware of has Darklink actually been on the opposite side of Thunderbird? But I guess, whatever it would be such a small sample size that it wouldn't matter what the answer was.
Yeah, these two guys are pros. That should be clear by what we've seen already. And they chose some, fun flags. I think they chose a fun flag set.
Niram was a little bit concerned because he feels the flags favored a more like skillful, methodical, like good fighter in combat. And I was trying to tell him, dude, man, you're good too.
Yeah. Niram is a very good player. He went to the finals of the tournament.
Yeah, he was maybe one magic level away from winning it.
Yep. That is true.
But looks like Yunos is going to dip into another palace here, and it's going to be Palace 2.
Yeah, nothing's stopping him.
No, his return, he has a little bit of knowledge of Palace 2, I believe.
So what is a little interesting for Yunos, and we know actually now that the Reflect spell is kid blocked, right?
He does indeed know that, yes.
Well, no, because Yunos doesn't know that, but we do.
No, Yunos... Yeah, Yunos hasn't been the Raru or Kasuto, so he has a 1 in 3 chance of it being blocked. Oh, water tile on Niram's side. Dot comment lost 20 minutes.
So if you're Yunos, he doesn't know that Reflect is kid blocked. Are you still digging items out? I mean, are you still worried about that scenario? To dig items?
I think the awareness of it is always there. I think maybe... in certain palaces, maybe he'll look a different direction and see if it's the item room. In other palaces, he's just going to continue in the direction of the boss, I would think is the fair answer.
Fair enough. So far, though, not picking the correct way to go at all in Palace 2.
No, he did grab the first key. Or if I don't even know if it was a key. It might have been a P-bag before he obeyed.
It was a key, yeah.
And then it was a key. Okay, then he did not opt to go get the second one. I don't know how much fairy costs at Magic 3. That's one thing I wasn't able to look at. We'll see here, though.
Yep. 51.
Yeah, so he's going to use jump, obviously, to jump over these this gap here. Niram's in New Kasuto now, so he'll be picking up some stuff. And yeah, he's going to cast jump, grab the key, then cast fairy and get out of there and save his life. So it's a key pickup, but it was costly. It cost as much as a fairy, but, you know, who knows if you'll have that magic when you need it.
Yeah. So this is actually good for Niram. He needs the hammer that's back here to keep going. That'll probably be his signal then to go back, clear out that cave where the trophy is. I think Niram might have a little bit more information than Yunos does, since he did find Raru and he did find Old Kasuto. But otherwise, I mean, Yunos is, you know, knee-deep in a palace right now, so he's going to have a gem lead here momentarily.
Yeah, and Niram also found both P-bag caves as well. So if the kid hunt is on the way, Yunos might be looking for easily accessible caves to try to find the kid, rather than dipping into palaces where Niram might be at that point in his route.
Have we seen the desert tile yet?
Desert tile is the only thing on the eastern continent we have not seen yet.
And Death Mountain, I guess, would be our other options outside of palaces.
Yeah, we don't have a single hint of what is in any palace right now.
Well, Yunos just picked up a heart in P2. So.
Heart container in P2 is the only one we know. But if you're Niram right now, you don't even have a way to get through the key doors. You don't have fairy yet, but that's what he needs the hammer for.
Yeah, being, 35 minutes in and not having fairy or magic key is definitely... I would be panicking a little bit. I would not be happy about the situation.
This is on that magic pixel right there where he's not going to get hit by the enemies. And now Niram can see the enemies that hit him. Is this the desert tile? It is.
Yep. Not great, though.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the hammer, you gotta believe Niram would probably be steaming here a little bit. But here's Helmet Head, the first boss we're gonna fight in the seed.
Mm-hmm. I think usually considered one of the easier bosses as well. He does have a fair amount of HP this go around, but not a problem for Yunos.
Nirm's making the walk to Rudo here, as the first gem of the race has been placed by Yunos.
Oh, did he pick up the trophy already?
No, maybe he did not.
Maybe... Is he going to Death Mountain instead? Or did he forget where that cave is?
Maybe he perhaps forgot where the cave is, or he's... Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know where the cave is now. It was relatively early, I believe, right?
It was in the southern section. Yeah, I mean, not too far from the coast, so...
And you have to remember, Nirm spent very little time on the Western Continent. There it is, right there. Spent very little time on the Western Continent before going east, and has predominantly been on the east for the most part. So there's Yunos finally finding Raru, finally finding that second entrance to Death Mountain, right in the upper nexus of the universe there.
He wasn't worried about finding items before. He definitely is after he gets this fire spell after the here in Raru. He'll be concerned about that for sure.
Yeah, then he'll know he needs Reflect and Thunder, and he'll be like, of course, I do. 2 towns left, 2 items left, or 2 spells left. Why wouldn't it be Thunder and Reflect?
So Nir got the trophy for sure, and now he's heading north. Is he going for Death Mountain, or...?
He might think that that is Rudo and not Raru.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if he dips in or not.
He also has a lot of knowledge about these spells and knows that the trophy and the kid are not required. One of them, at least, is required, and the other one is fairy, so...
Yeah, I would even say fairy's required, especially... I would have to put fairy as required in no extra key seeds. Because how often are you going to come across... Well, no, it's magic key. Magic
but
key.
The long GP also, I think, increases the need for fairy because of those fairy rooms in Great Palace.
Yeah, but the magic key is in Palace 4, you know. It all depends. So we're going to be dipping here into 3 or 6. And I believe that makes it... If there's an item on top here... I believe that makes it 6.
Is it? Yeah, I guess you're right.
No,
Nope.
it's 3.
Who are these guys? Who did they get to commentate this race?
I like that room because that room that room identifies whether it's 3 or 6 every single time. And it did. It's just, I just, started making stuff up. But Nirm knows the Rudo's not up there now, and he's going to up A, and he's going to go back to the starting area.
All right.
Yunos was getting bodied there.
Yeah, but in typical Yunos fashion, he's just going to let himself get sandwiched and fight his way out of it.
So Nirm VGT walks around the town tile and then finally gets into Rudo, and he'll be cashing in the trophy for the fairy spell. And then that would put him knowing that the kid was needed for Reflect.
He's not even here, man.
All right, so the kid scenario, to recap it, either item in Death Mountain, we can get to both of them, as Yunos is at Rebo Neck now, and he'll be placing his second gem of the seed. So the Hammer Cave in Death Mountain or Spectacle Rock in Death Mountain, both players have the hammer. And then the items in 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. See,
Yep.
Would you dip back into 3 here and see if you can find the item?
If I'm in Yunos' position... Honestly, I probably would, but I also know Yunos, who I kind of don't expect to do that. One of the spells that he has not found is Thunder, and T-Bird is optional, and knowing Yunos, I think he's probably willing to gamble that he doesn't need it. But, well, Don't listen to me. I'm wrong.
Yeah, he's going to make that left turn. 3 is very short. There's only 3 branches you can go to the right. One will lead you to the boss, the other to the item room, and the other will lead you outside. If he finds the outside, I doubt he'd go and get the key, but the key could be helpful for him as well. So there could be a win-win scenario here no matter what. If it's the magic key and not the kid, that definitely helps him.
Yeah, that's true. Nier, meanwhile, has decided to hop right on into Death Mountain. So that's interesting. He can go start clearing palaces now if he wants to, and has decided that Death Mountain's the play he wants to make. There's a good cave right there.
Yeah, just before I was about to say that, you have the boots, you can access more caves than normal. He finds the hammer cave.
Magic container in 3, so...
So we'll see if this is a good play for Nier. One of the worst things in the world that can happen for him, especially in a dark Death Mountain, is it's I don't even want to say it, but is this item the red jar?
Oh boy.
The red jar would be invisible in the dark Death Mountain. But here it is, decision time, or revelation time, whatever you want to call it. There is a Bonner pass for Unos.
Yeah. Okay, heart container. I mean, sure.
Yeah, again, long GP, man. You never know what's going to happen. Having 5 heart containers, he's only at life 4. He hasn't placed a single gem yet, so that's definitely going to go up. But he's got magic to cast life and stuff, and he's going to double raft over.
He likes to go sailing, yeah. He did see the rock, or I think he saw the rock. I saw the rock on Nirm's screen, so he could also try to go back for it.
Maybe that's what he's going to do here. Here is the... Not the item room. Unos is in 6.
Yep.
Oh, he found the magic container. That's right. All right, there's a elevator cave here for Nirm. It was the first cave you go through. So he might take a different way out here.
Starting to get a little concerned for Nirm, though. I mean, I think this really has to be the kid to pay off for him, because he's starting to lose the gem lead. I know we got long GP coming up, but if, Unos gets too far ahead, he'll have a huge head start into GP.
Yeah, there is the boulder. Is that completely sealed off? It is completely sealed off. How many caves actually go there? Is it going to be 2?
2? I think 2, maybe 3. That's got to be disappointing as well.
Yeah, because in those situations, I mean, the only thing really randomized about Death Mountain, and I say only, it's a big thing, is, all the caves are shuffled around, so you can access different areas for different caves. The caves are identical to vanilla. They're just in a different area and they go different places. Sometimes they can go to the same place. They can be one cave over. You never know. Having the knowledge of how many caves there are and what you've seen, what side of what cave system you've seen and not seen, could help you go through to a new area. But when there's only 1 or 2 caves pointing you to the direction you need to go, that's a crapshoot. Like, you really, you just need to know.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you can say, like, I don't want to go through this cave because I've seen 3 sides of the, 4 potential sides.
Mm-hmm.
And it can still be the right side.
Yeah, it's really tough.
But rather, if the boulder was in like a big wide open area, then you'll have a better chance of hitting that cave by taking the ones you haven't seen yet. Stuff like that. So Death Mountain that's why you don't see players go into Death Mountain until very late, unless they want to take a big gamble and see if it pays off.
Unos, meanwhile, has seen a big chunk of Palace 6. He's been in here for a minute, so... I think he's taken most of the drops, if not all of the drops. Which is usually a pretty good sign. Not always, but can be a good sign.
Yeah, what you eventually want to wind up, if you see a lot of great Palace 6, you want to wind up in the Rebonek pass-through room. Because you can only go through that room left to right. And that means on the other side is going to be a way to the item or to the boss. Since you can't take a drop there's no right side dead ends unless you take in every right side dead end you can fall down into. But again, you can't fall down into the dead end and make a left and hit that room because of the logic of the room, the way Rebonex spawns.
Does have a couple of right options to take here. I think Nirm's getting a little frustrated with this Death Mountain, but he's also kind of got to feel committed at this point, right?
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that preaches go for it if you commit to it, and that might actually be his downfall here. But again, it depends where the kid is. If he takes 5 minutes here and goes through it and finds it and it's the kid, like, it's all worth it.
Wow, look at that loop.
It's a pretty nice loop. Has he fell down the Canadian hole yet?
I don't think so, but I also think he probably knows that it's not worth it because he's done a lot of the drops. I think he's found most of the drop rooms that matter.
And look at that. He goes for the $1-up dollar. I don't know if I've ever seen him in a situation to do that, but he definitely took the time to do it here.
Might be worried about his magic.
Yeah, he might have to use that life to refill his magic. He can't cast Fairy right now. Is it still 40?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's gonna take a bath.
So very convenient one up there. It could have been a key and he'd be in the same situation. See where Nirm winds up here. He's back on the coast. He's going to dip into another cave. So the only thing you can do here is be methodical. Take one cave after the next and just remember which ones you've gone into and then just go into a different one next time.
Yep. Or go download the Angry Larry Cave Tracker app and it'll help you a lot.
Yeah, or watch the 6-hour Death Mountain didn't find the item tutorial. Here is the Reboneck pass-through for Unos. And again, with that long 6 so far that he's seen, any room to the right of this is going to be either the boss room or the item room. Maybe not directly, but leading exactly to it. And it could branch out to both, actually.
Yeah, we got a Barba.
Yeah, he's got 1 life left. Is he going to go for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that hit actually saved him.
Our judges report back with a score of a 7 on that jump. Oh.
Oh, and there's a 9.5 on the BGT scale. Kills Barba and takes the dip. He's not going to get the experience, but he's going to get the key. And he's going to level up here. So that kind of stinks for him because he could have got a double. He could have got the experience on Barba and then leveled up and then took the gem and leveled up again. But because he died simultaneously at the time Barba died, the game only recognized Barba dying and not him getting the XP because it never triggered.
Somebody's triggered right now.
Yeah, I think we call that swag sometimes, but I guess it's not the good swag. Nirm is just always in this corner of Death Mountain when I look up, so you kind of feel for him right now. You want him to dip into a cave and go right there. It's 2 caves that lead there.
Yeah, that's real tough.
I mean, what's even worse is it could be a cave that goes to a cave that goes to one of those 2 caves. Like, it could be one of those situations, or one of those 2 caves could go to a camping spot, and there's only really one way to get there. A camping spot being like, a cave that shows up with nowhere to go anywhere else.
Another trick that you can use is, the enemies don't respawn if you don't leave the area. So if you kill stuff as you go through, you can use that to help you decide if you've been through a cave or not.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Unless you accidentally lose your bearing and you go out the other entrance of Death Mountain, and then, everything respawns.
Yep.
So here's Kasuto for Unos, and he's going to be picking up Thunder. So that's going to leave both players here with the Reflect spell. The only spell that's really required, and that's an example of a camping spot in Nirm's screen.
Wow, poor Nir. I mean, how much time has he spent here? 10 minutes?
He's been here. I mean, the only good side to it is the only thing that Yunus has done, and I say only thing, is he placed a gem in 6 because 6 was that that awkward to go through. Nirm's going to have to do that as well. So,
I mean, Yunus is building up a big gem lead. He's got 3 gems, and Nirm hasn't placed a single one yet. So,
and here's, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to mention that the palaces that Yunus has left as well are relatively short, except for P5, which is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and he's seen enough of one to know which direction probably to go in, so he has an advantage there. He's cleaning up the Eastern Continent looking for the kid. He just went to both P-Bag Caves. I do not know. Desert Tile is the only thing he has not seen, and Death Mountain, and also, Palaces 1, 4, 5, and 6, the item.
I feel like Nirm's walking around in circles at this point. I wonder if, maybe it's accessible from the other entrance to Death Mountain? Is that a thing?
That could be, that could greatly be. There could be 2 caves in the entrance to Death Mountain, and both those 2 caves could lead to these 2 caves, and that's it. And he can be spinning in circles and never arrive there because, Death Mountain just doesn't present itself from this entrance to get there. But yeah, every time I look up, he's in that northeast corner. He can't get to another area. I mean, it makes you wonder if you just want to give up or up A and go back to that other area. It wasn't that far from the starting North Castle, but here he's in the lower northwest there.
Yeah.
Sorry, southwest.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, and he just reset all of his enemy spawns, so...
Yeah, so there's the dream of the golden entrance, I guess. But yeah, see, those caves he's in right now, those last 2 caves, there's 2 sets of those caves in Death Mountain. And when you see, when you go through one of them and you see one side of the other one, you're convinced that they lead nowhere. But, if that second cave does lead to the other side, that's kind of a harsh reality when you track caves to have that happen. Because you almost always miss it.
Somebody in chat wants to know where the candle is. I have no idea. I mean, we know where the remaining items are, but I don't think the runners are worried about the candle at this point.
Oh, the candle's under Spectacle Rock.
Oh my gosh. Nirm would definitely be pretty salty if that were the case.
Well, Palace won again for Yunus, and he has 3 gems placed to Nirm 0. But Nirm's really trying to make this Death Mountain work, and it could. The problem is, by the time Yunus rolls around to getting it, he's going to have, maybe up to 5 gems placed, and, maybe be quicker in Death Mountain just because you take the right cave.
Yeah. I mean, the kid could be in 1 for all we know, and in which case, Nirm's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, this is where, 0 gems placed, 54 minutes, and you're racing somebody like Yunus, or you're racing someone like Nirm, and you're like, man, they have everything right now, and I can't find anything. So you kind of question yourself, and you're hoping that this Hail Mary works. Yunus is checking everything, and Nirm's just going to grab the item here. Do you think it was that water tile that really set him off?
The water tile?
Yeah, the non-water tile water
okay.
tile?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could definitely see that messing with somebody's concentration. Sorry about the dog. He's just doing his job. He's protecting me.
Well, here's the item in 1, so we'll see what this is. And it's the magic key.
A little late in the game for that to be terribly exciting.
No, he does have to go through 5, which is not really terribly door blocked. And 4 is. So, you're not... If it's not the kid, you might as well be the magic key there.
Yeah. Nirm has definitely been through this cave before. I know
Yeah,
that.
that is the gauntlet he's running right now. All the gladiators are lining up in their bunkers with their stupid pads, trying to prevent the contender from getting to the other side.
I have no idea what cave he needs to take. I've been watching him spin his wheels in here, and
So there's the cave that you hit pretty early on in the vanilla run that has the red jar on the porch. It looks like like an elevator cave, but it has a higher ceiling.
oh, the
I call that
floating
one.
platforms.
Yeah, I call that one Skytrack. I believe I have not seen him hit either side of that one yet.
Huh. Where the heck would it be?
I'm not sure.
Hopefully, it doesn't just loop around to itself inside of that little valley, because that would be a big problem.
What he needs to do is he needs to find some sort of mountain glitch, the Nirm we'll call it, and get himself in there. And there's Hammer Cave. So I wonder
Oh,
if
here it
he
is.
did not. There it is. There it is, right there. I wonder if he didn't go around that Hammer Cave area.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think he found the Hammer Cave and then he never went back to that section. Yuno's going into 4, so this time we absolutely know what he's trying to do. Well, okay.
Ah, it did not go. Did not go where I wanted it to go.
Yunos is looking for the item. He's playing the old item in 4 needed to get reflect trick.
Well, both of the memes or what have you are alive. Required item in 4 for the reflect spell, or required item in 5 generally. They're both still in play. But more times than not, here we go.
Hey!
Heart container.
Oh, no.
But he has it, and he's moving on.
Yes. We do have a long GP, so, anything can happen with a long Great Palace. If Yunos takes a wrong turn, it could take him a long time to get back on track. Or takes an untimely game over.
So you're Nirm right now. You spent a little time to get that heart container. You're pretty much convinced that you're behind and you need the kid. There are several places where you can go to look for the item. Only several places, and it's every palace. Which one would you want to do to, I guess, give yourself the best chance of regaining the time?
Well, he's going to 3, which is a good choice. 1 also, a very small palace. You want to try and do the short ones first, I think.
So we had something on Yunos' side there. He found Karak, and then he went to his spell menu to switch to reflect. I don't know if that was like, pause, do I want to up A, or pause, do I have reflect? Because he actually moved the cursor up or down like he was going to menu. So
we'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very much on our way to a near full clear of this seed, so... Yunos has not found that desert tile yet, which, that seems like a pretty obvious thing to try and look for as well, if you're Yunos. Nirm's already got it, though, so...
Yeah, desert tile 4, 5, 6, and both items in Death Mountain. And I remember talking to you occasionally when we do these things, commentating. I always throw you questions like, where would you go? Where would you go? Where would you go? You almost always bring up, well, I have the hammer. I can get both items in Death Mountain.
Yeah.
I'll fish Death Mountain before 5 or 6. Do you think Yunos is going to fish Death Mountain before 5 or 6?
Maybe. I would definitely do it before 5. He's already been to 6, so going back to 6 is probably not going to be high on his list of priorities.
So in the SHI Olympics gold medal match between Buzz Thunder and Jacquemus Wedge, interesting thing happened there. Buzz Thunder actually cleared Palace 6. It was second gem placed, and I want to say it was in like under a half an hour. And the spell item for whatever it was, Reflect, was in 6. So he had to do everything and then go back to 6.
Wow.
So we have a potential for almost the same situation here, but we have the item in 4 now.
Oh. Wow. Meme it up.
The item for Reflect to beat Palace 4 was in Palace 4. Why do we let that idiot kid in Palace 4 ever? And it's always the kid when it
pissed is
happens,
Nearm
too.
gonna be when he sees that?
It's one of those things where everyone knows, like, Glove is in 5 when that was a thing. Like, every time Glove was in 5, it was like, well, why didn't I just search 5? It's always in 5. Like, this is the new thing. Like, Reflect item is always in 4. Just do it. And Yunus did it, and he's going to go cash it in right now. Think he gets upstab?
For long GP, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, he queued up the fairy when I said that. I was cheating.
There are rooms in Great Palace that can be upstab blocked. The rooms with the columns of blocks do in fact require upstab. The tall columns of blocks require upstab to get through if you go from right to left. So there's only 2 of them, but man, you really do not like seeing one when you don't have upstab. So Yunus is officially got everything he needs to beat this game. He just got to clear 4 and 5. He's good to go.
Yeah, good to go, but easier said than done with Long Great Palace, man. I mean, we can't you can't undersell exactly. Where's Nearm here? He's in the item in 3, huh?
Yeah.
It was that right-hand item room. I got excited for a second. I thought maybe he quickly went into 4, but not the case. He was cleaning up 3 after placing the gem. You can't undersell. Like, for those who've never played Zelda 2 Randomizer, for those who only watched Zelda 2 Randomizer, Long Great Palace is something. Like, it's hard. It's long. It can be trolly. It could be, Dark Link could be in the first room, we'll say, because of these flags. But if Dark Link is not in the first room, it could go a long ways, and it could be a lot of looping, a lot of, with mixed small and large enemies, there could be a lot of the Chicken Knights in your way that just, take damage, and with lower life levels and lower heart containers, could be a problem.
Yeah. Fun fact, there are, I want to say, 59 rooms in Great Palace, or 57 rooms in Great Palace, which is the same number of rooms in level 9 in Zelda 1. A little throwback.
Yeah, Legend of Zelda, the first Legend of Zelda, you only had the 4 rooms on the bottom in the upper left-hand corner of the map, because the eyes in the upper right-hand corner of the map were hidden rooms. So yeah, 59 would be my count as well. Oh, there goes Karok, and this will be the 4th gem placed, 5th gem placed by Yunus.
Yep. Do we know where 5 is? We haven't even seen 5 yet.
I don't believe we have either. Was it up there by New Kasuto? By regular Kasuto?
That was 6. For sure. I feel like if 5 was up there, Yunus would have cleared it. Might have to take a cave.
Yeah, he is jumping in a cave, and he's going to do just that. Yeah, I believe you're right. I believe we have not seen 5. Wouldn't that be something if it's flute blocked? I don't know if I've seen the River Devil, and River Devil just hanging out on a stupid road or something by himself.
Well, that's the desert tile right there.
Yeah, well, there goes that. So that whole setup for nothing, whatever.
Is he listening to us right now? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So it was flute blocked. He had to pick it up along the way.
Way up in the corner, in the middle of a swamp.
Candle can be in 5 or 6. So it's only the candle and 1 heart container we're missing?
Yeah, that's it.
No, one dollar store item, one
oh, really?
booby prize. Yeah, because we only found 2 of the pea bags. We have the heart container in both items in Death Mountain, Maze Island, and Palace 2. So yeah, 1 P bag and 1. There's a magic key pickup for Nirm in Palace 1.
Wasn't
Yeah,
Palace
okay.
2 a heart container or a magic container or something?
Palace 2 was the other heart container. Yeah. Key in 1, heart container in 2, magic container in 3, kid in 4. Yeah, Yunos has no desire to go into Death Mountain. Like there's like one slim 0.5% chance Yunos goes into Death Mountain, and that is if Great Palace is horrid and he wants to go get maybe a quick heart container. But I'm gonna say 0% is closer to the estimate.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
He might just take a magic level there if he can to reduce the cost of life, because he has eight bars of magic and life spell. So
Nirm takes down Horsehead, so he's starting to catch up a little here with the gems, although he's still got a long way to go. Palace 5 can be, take quite a while if you don't go the right way. It's possible for Nirm to make up some time in 5 if he gambles a little bit, takes a turn that he thinks Yunos might not take.
Yeah, it all depends on when he gets to 5 though, because if the kid is still on, if he's still on the lookout for the kid, then there he goes. He's tilting.
He did just walk right past Maze Island, which is where the kid is. So
yeah, like how he's gonna go to 5 now. So how to ask this question and have it represent exactly what I want to ask and for the audience. At what point do you dip for? Like, what do you have to exhaust to be like, all right, the item I need is in the palace I need it for?
I mean, I feel like most runners probably would not dip for very often. I'm interested to hear what Yunos was doing, if he actually thought he had it or he just kind of had a little happy accident in there.
Yunos and I have played a couple races over the past couple weeks, and I've watched him. He's watched me as well play when we're not playing at the same time. And yeah, I mean, it's something we always say. It's always like, if you're there and you need it, it could be. It has as good of a chance to be there as anywhere else. So why would you leave when you may be a couple rooms away from it to go somewhere completely different, like Death Mountain, and spend upwards of 10 minutes? You might as well just take care of it if it's in front of you.
I am a big fan of dipping into Palace 3 or 6 if you feel like you can make progress in there, even if you don't have the glove, because 6 especially, I feel like, is pretty low probability to be glove blocked. 3, a bit higher, but you never know if the glove could even be in there.
So 6 has what we refer to in the Zelda 2 randomizer community as the BGT room, that has a column of bricks on both sides. The right side of the Canadian hole room that has the false floor and all the statues also has a column of bricks, and there's a right-hand dead-end room that also has columns of bricks that you can potentially fall into. He's going to grab this item in 5.
Yeah, just for fun.
Heart container. That's what he's thinking.
Nope.
Well, that's going to be the dagger in Nirm's back if he goes to 6 next and tries to fish the item out of there after getting the candle in 5 and having it be a 1-up red jar or a pea bag. That is the only thing that's left, a small item.
Is he in 2 right now, or what?
He's in 5 as well.
Oh, okay. It just looks a little different on his. Got it.
And to be honest, it's right around the time where you're thinking your opponent can be done at any time. Like, granted, Nirm's he didn't find the kid, but it's 70 minutes, and most of these races get done in 70 minutes, 75 minutes. Long Great Palace could be more of a wild card, but it could also be very short in the Great Palace, your destination. Yeah. So it's on the back of his mind, like, how bad did I maybe mess up, and Yunos can be done? When
he sees the kid in 4, that might actually give him hope, because having the kid be there is definitely uh, one of the more tricky spots for it to be. So he might hope that Unos did something similar that he did, and maybe isn't as behind as he thinks.
Yeah,
We
you
know,
just
we know Unos is doing fine, but
yeah, you just got to hope that any potential what winds up being. I'm not saying it's a mistake because it's only a mistake because the item wasn't there. Like there was an item there. Go look for it.
yeah.
Um, you know, you kind of hope when it doesn't work out for you. Like, okay, I hope my opponent did the same thing, and maybe even took a little longer. But this, you can see this is fantastic randomizer side by side for racing. It's just so much fun. Just the way the two different people approach how to go about searching it and deciding what levels to take, how to beat bosses and stuff like that. This is great.
Are we gonna see a tin cup moment here too? That's another thing that could really.
The Zarnax Unos Pact, where you just go in on Guma and you hope you have enough health.
Yeah. Oh wow.
He did it.
Near him finding Guma as well.
It's the first time we're on the same screen for both these runners since the start of the game, I believe.
Yeah, they took very different paths. Did Unos just burn the gem?
Unos burnt the gem. That's a Jackamus wedge move. A lot of people do that. It's just you don't take the level up. You don't wait for the experience to count up. You just hit up A on the second controller, and you go. You start right back on the Western Continent, or right back in the same palace, depending if you save or continue, and you save those frames.
Why do you think he did that? I mean, he does have a long GP in front of him. Does he think he's behind? Or is he just showing off?
Well, I mean, like for you and Unos and Nirm and, like very few people can really claim to do this. Zarnax would probably be one of them. Error for sure. You reach a threshold of levels and you're like, I'm good. Gray Palace is on the Western Continent. Like, do I really need this to count down? What am I getting with this level? Magic 6? I can cast everything I need. I may not even need to cast anything in Gray Palace. So let's just go.
Yeah, I mean that extra life cast though in Great Palace could also make a difference, or being able to ferry an extra time,
But you're not really even guaranteeing it goes down. It's only if it's 50% plus or minus on the base level of the spell. And I'm talking to you like you don't know this, but you definitely do know this. You could have rolled a lower number, and it can roll higher, and then therefore no change in the spell. So yeah, you could. But you could also, see how we had 2 races end in Death Mount at Darklink this week. But yeah.
So Nirm did not dig the item out of 5, which we know is a good thing for him. Little surprising considering he doesn't have the kid yet, and there's not many options left. But
yeah, it's sad to say he's in 6. So it's going to be the worst of all the items. There's a fun room for Unos. And you can see just how much fun it is. He's down to life already.
Yeah, when you got that many rooms to go through, lives are at a premium. There is a hidden one-up in Great Palace, but you got to go left to get it, so... Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and it's room after room of this, with the mixed small, large enemies and a large Great Palace. He has to cast life twice in this room. And there's the upstab room, but he's doing it in reverse, so... One of the 2 rooms that we'll see, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Just not letting up.
Yeah, so remember that 0.5% chance that he may dip for the heart container? It's still 0%, but I think it went up to 0.52%.
Unos being Unos, though, and just, yeah, that's a classic Unos move right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can all do that.
So Unos is hanging on to this life. He's got one back, and it's got to also be a little concerned. I mean, if Thunderbird is in the way, he's got one life left. So he's basically got one crack at it.
Well, he's got no lives left now, and this is a drop room, and it's one of those decisions. You drop it, you go right, and there's no Thunderbird required. So, like, there's no real meta, I guess. Either way, it could arrive you at the right decision. But you definitely want to check right first in case it is Thunderbird, Darklink. Darklink's always to the right.
Nirm just got bodied by that Moa and knocked him into the Canadian hole. That's happened to me. I hate that.
Here's another fun room for Unos. He decides he doesn't want to have fun and maybe he wants to go up this elevator. Very careful not to be holding left when he goes back into the elevator room because you can walk right into that enemy. And here's a hook room, so he's going to have another chance to go right here and hope to find Darklink. And it's a fun room. So fun room on either choice here.
This one's not nearly as bad as that other one, though.
No, that other one was probably the worst of the worst. This one's pretty easy. We're going to go down. We're going to go down a corridor shaft. You can go left there and maybe find a fairy if you want to, but he's going to go down one more time and find a waffle. There are 3 fairies to be found in Great Palace. One of them is going to be to the left in a hidden wall through that shaft room he was just in. Another one's going to be in a right-hand dead-end room. And the other one, there's what we call the fairy room that has a lava pit on left and an elevator in the middle. Plenty of red jars to find, though.
Yeah, there's probably, half a dozen red jars hidden, if you know where to look.
Yeah. I think more than that, because all the corridors have them. And there's 2 in that one room that you drop into. And look at this room, this nice fairy room. That you need fairy if you go right to left. But it has an elevator up and a potential right-hand turn.
At this point, I think Unos is probably just trying to see as much as he can. Probably not expecting to survive on this one.
He may have looped around to that other fun room.
Yeah, I was actually... Whoa, my gosh. He's dead.
Yeah, he's not getting this off. Yeah. That might be a potential loop around to the other fun room that we saw him bail out of.
Man, that was a room. Holy moly. 2 chickens and 2 blue bird knights.
All right, so corridor to start, and then, well, there's a couple corridors to start. I missed this because I was watching Nirm, and then we go into a theater room. Theater room's going to go into a fun room. So how many options have we not seen him take? The first option he has not taken was the drop in the, what we call the Enchantress of Numbers room. Do you know why we call it the Enchantress of Numbers room, Dick Shake?
I do, Larry. I certainly do.
So do I, but you guys can figure that out, Google it or something. That's the first chance we have to go a different direction. Now, the next chance we have to go to a different direction might, in fact, be a loop. It's either in where Unos died, going all the way around, or going into that other fun room that we've seen him walk around, bail out of. So he might be he's definitely taking the Eon drop here.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with that. That would be a good move. At this point, you're just going to take the first route change that you can. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, so we're going to land in this room. So this is one of the 4 rooms you drop into, obviously. This is the only one that has a left and a right from it.
Meanwhile, Nirm's catching up. Fairy room. He's going back for the item in 6. But he's only got 2 palaces left. He's got Karok and Helmet Head left to take out. Still needs that spell, though.
All right, he's going to go for one of these red jars now here. You notice he does the little jump and is able to get up on the platform without casting jump. And loses the 50-50. Let's see what happens now. And 50-50 gets the jar.
50-50 my butt.
Yeah, he's well over average there at 1 and 2. So here's the one of the static bridge rooms with the flying enemies. he'll be making left. He's making left turns, and this is a dead end. This is a room you're going to drop into, so you got to be aware of the drop rooms you find from now on, because that might bring you right there.
Yep.
And he's going to have to turn around and go right in the other direction. Did he not go right after he dropped?
He has been before, but he decides to up A, I guess, to get his lives and health back. He did die once, so he probably just wanted to get a fresh set of lives. And
yeah, I missed the first few rooms here, so I may have just charted my map wrong. Near him up A's, and he's going to go back for the item.
Which, that has to be a heart container, right?
No, it's either a P bag, it's a Zonk.
What's the other item we haven't seen?
We've seen every item.
Except for 6, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be the small item.
But we're missing a heart container, aren't we?
No, we're not.
No, there's 1 and 2. There's 1 and 2. You're right. I'm an idiot. I got it.
Data room into a drop, into this, into a drop. Okay, so I missed a drop sequence somewhere in my thing. Okay.
Now, Eon room could easily lead back to that drop room that he was just hanging out in. But he'll probably take it anyway. Just to make sure. Oh my gosh, that scared me.
Yeah, I didn't think he got jump off there because his Link sprite disappeared. Okay, so here's the upstairs room. So we're 2 rooms away from the next drop room, which you have to believe he takes.
Yeah, I think so.
So that one most likely, based on the way I'm seeing this map here, and assuming that fun room was a loop, a big loop, that's mostly going to put him on top of what we call the L7 room, and he's going to be forced to the left. So I believe we might be on a linear path here, and that's the only option we have so far.
Okay. Here comes the bamboozle for Nirm.
And it's the medium P bag, the 200-point variety. He's going to up A and leave, and that's disappointing right there. Now, probably not as disappointing if he goes into P5. Look what Yunos does there. I like when he does that. I do that as well. You break away the bridge and cast Fairy and go underneath all the chaos to drop and land in the top half of the L7 room.
So we've seen all the drop rooms but 1, is that right? Or have we seen them all?
No, we have seen them all but 1, but we've seen the landing zone, so we know that that's not going to go anywhere. So no more drops from here on out if Yunos is paying attention, and he probably is. So one of the disadvantages of not linking fire to another spell is when you get a higher magic level, fire becomes very cheap. And if it's something like, if it's a secondary spell like Shield or Fairy or such, you can just rely on it in Great Palace. And then just, have no cares in the world.
Yep.
Avoid everything, and
those can be very fun seeds, actually.
Yeah. So here's another thing I'm noticing as we find another bridge room here. Another thing I'm noticing is with this potential 1 path we have, and Darklink may be beyond Thunderbird, so we might be finding Thunderbird here shortly. Yunos is going to have a chance to refill his magic if he lives, with a 50-50 jar chance at the end of this room.
There are still a fair number of branches left, I feel like. So... Uh-oh. Okay. Clutch jar right there for Yunos.
I'm looking at potentially 3 elevator rooms out of the 4 still left.
It does look like Yunos is kind of trying to conserve magic here a little bit by killing these guys in case he does run into T-Bird.
Yeah, they were in an easy spot to be blocked in, and you can just stab their feet to kill them. So
Nir, meanwhile, is in 2, so he can easily clear 2, but, the thing he's looking for, not there. As you will soon find out.
Now, I forget how many of these static bridge rooms there are until you get to a non-shortened Great Palace. We've seen 4 of them so far. I believe there are only 4. Here's the second of the elevator rooms. This is the one with no enemies on either side. All 4 of them have a unique enemy characteristic to it. We're going to have a hook room there, so we have a way to go right, but Unos is now going to go see what's on this side.
Hey!
And Darklink.
Great time by Unos. This is going to be sub 90 minutes. For these flags, I would be happy with that. Kid buried in 4. No shame.
About 24 rooms, and Unos is going to go nuts here. Show off a little bit. He's got 1 life left.
This is a hard fight. There it is. Coming in at 127.48. GG Unos. We'll see if we can get Unos in here to chat here in just a moment. Nirm is confirming in chat that he's not a happy camper at the moment, and I can't say that I blame him. I actually feel kind of bad for the seed that Nirm has had. He actually played pretty well, but decided to go all in on Death Mountain and just unfortunately did not pay off for him. Hey, and I think we got Unos hanging out with us here in chat. GG, man.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks.
Yeah, so walk us through that one. What was the sticking point of that seed?
Sorry, what would you say?
I was asking what the sticking point of that seed was.
Yeah, I guess it was Reflect.
Yeah.
I forgot that Thunder wasn't required, but yeah, I wasn't going to skip it.
Oh, you forgot that it wasn't required. Interesting.
Well, it maybe wasn't required.
Yeah. Well, we were a little interested about Reflect. You did duck into 4, and you actually found Karok and opened up your spell menu, and we thought maybe you thought you had Reflect and maybe forgotten, or...
Whenever I get stuck, I always just open up my spell menu to see what I can do about it. Thinking maybe I'll find a new spell in that book.
I see. Trolling the commentators a little bit, huh?
At the end there, what happened, I couldn't do anything. I didn't have any magic for that one blue jerk and GP, so I was like, hey man, they said if all else fails, use fire. So I just used fire, see what would happen.
Yeah. That GP, I mean, had some nasty rooms in it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, Nirma isn't even to that part yet, but it really takes a toll right away. Good luck. I mean, well, it won't be as bad for him. He has 7 bars, but
yeah,
5 bars, it was basically...
8 as well, so...
Right.
But I mean, Niram unfortunately went all in on Death Mountain, decided that that's where the kid was, and just probably spent 10-15 minutes looking for Spectacle Rock, unfortunately.
Ugh.
Only to find a heart container. 2 heart containers on Death Mountain. That is just bad luck.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was taking from seeing that he has that. That sucks.
Yeah. He was actually, I mean, you guys were neck and neck there for a while. It took you a long time to find a way to even get into Palaces. I want to say it was like 35, 40 minutes before you even had the fairy spell.
Yeah, it was a real slow roll and start, but I didn't feel like I was getting hung up necessarily. Like didn't feel like I was making big mistakes. It was just a slow beginning.
But a cool one with that little area with the cave there.
I know. I was very excited right away. It had kind of a new map, but old original overworld feel to it. Like, hey, you have narrow choices here, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun to see. And then it gave you the raft right away, which just opened up everything, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so then there were a bunch of choices, and I was glad to find the boots wherever they were, but at the same time, I don't know how important they were.
I mean, I think they were required only because you had to get up to Palace 3, but other than that...
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Well, I guess it might have been possible to pass through Death Mountain to get up there, or something, equally terrible. But
oh yeah,
passing through Death Mountain got you up there. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Larry.
Hello.
Hi.
Congratulations. How'd you like that? You were talking about that Upper East area. You went there the first time, and you totally missed Raru. What was on your mind as your spell list was building up?
I knew I hadn't picked up Raru, and I thought, I'll get back to it. And I decided finally, I was like, okay, let's check out that corner, because I didn't think I went there. And yeah, sure, it's just sitting there. And then it's fire, I wasn't too stressed out. I was having a good time.
Did you ask the hard-hitting question yet, Big Shake?
Which one was that?
Palace 4.
Yeah, I asked him about that. He said he knew what was going on mostly.
Yeah,
I don't believe him.
No, I knew that I was reflectless for sure.
Well, here comes Niram, and he's going to pick it up now, or pick up the kid.
Yeah, it's a nice encounter-free walk from the kid back to Darunia, if you have the boots.
Yeah, it certainly is. What was your... Sorry, I had to step away for a moment, so I missed the first part of the interview with you and Dig Shake, but we can pretend like he didn't say anything. What was your favorite part of the seed? Something, because, these flags are not traditionally run when we do races either on either of the weeklies. One right here on Randomania at, whenever that is, 9 p.m., I believe, on Tuesday nights. Yeah. So if you're interested in this game and you want to get into it, you can meet up with everyone on 9 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday nights on this channel. But what was one of your more favorite things of the non-traditional flags that presented itself in this race?
Oh, what do we have? Well, yeah, I was a little surprised when I walked right into Darkling because I forgot. The GP, the GP was... I wouldn't want to say that it was necessarily fun, because I don't know, it was just actually a pain, and it wasn't really confusing either. I don't know, the overworld is pretty cool. I actually thought this was a neat overworld.
Do you think that those fun rooms, the one you died in, the one you noped out of, do you think those were the same?
No, they're not.
Okay, different enemies than the first part of it?
Yeah, I was getting ready, actually. I was like, okay, well, I know what rooms I haven't gone through yet. So that one fun room I noped out of had a spicy chicken in the front, and the other one that I game overed in had blue.
Two of them.
It had and then it had a series of blue birds.
Yeah, and you almost got the life cast off somehow miraculously, but you couldn't do it. That's kind of scary for Nirm's side of things here, because that was the linear traditional meta path that you normally take in Great Palace, where you just keep going right, and you had opportunities to keep going right there or go back to it before you dropped, and the game over may have pushed you in a different direction quicker, so that may have benefited you there.
Yeah, I don't remember what path that was even on. The Blue Bird Knight, I underplayed that GP quite a bit, given my list of abilities. That game over in particular, I got the life spell off, but I knew I wouldn't survive. I knew that the life spell wouldn't fill me up fast enough to save me. If I casted shield, it might have. So I felt really stupid for not just casting both, or at least trying to get both off before I was hit.
Well, you also burned that gem, actually, at Palace 5. Is that...
Yeah, and I almost regretted that instantly. As soon as I took a death in the beginning of GP, just because of how much damage I was taking, I was like, oh, I wish I had that gem.
Yeah. Was that a magic level or a life level?
I don't know. Either one could have been great.
Yeah.
My life spell was 38.
Nirma's doing the goofy foot here on the tricky leg on Carrick. It's a strategy we see sometimes when your opponent has finished the race and you're still racing. And is that his last gem? Yeah, it is.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to bid farewell here. I got dinner plans with the wife to take off to, but congrats, Unos. Thanks for coming out, everybody. And thanks for commentating with me, Larry.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good dinner.
See you guys.
Later.
Hey, you want to stay?
Hang out.
All right. Well, we have Nirm still on the way. I don't know if we have a limit here before we have to go on to the next race or next game in the rando tournament. But there's a whole host of commands that hopefully somebody can help you out here with to inform you that the next game is Crimson Havocs is doing Legend of Zelda randomizer run.
Yeah, we gave ourselves apparently 2 hours to do this, so Crim's not scheduled to start for 27 minutes.
So we have 7 more minutes of Z2R fun. If you are interested in this game, it's very easy to find. You can just go to Google and type in Zelda 2 II, like Roman numerals, randomizer, and you'll find it. Very easy to get into. Very, very friendly community. A lot of helpful people. There's a Discord. Everyone will help you get started. Even if you've never raced before, you can jump right into it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do think that this is probably more appealing if you really loved Zelda 2 and you really love the combat in it, but that shouldn't stop you from playing it if you're unfamiliar with it, because this is a great game. And I had a joke lined up right there. And
that was not the joke?
No.
Okay.
The joke wasn't if you need to find Google, go onto Alta Vista and search Google.
What is your favorite search? Oh, well, no, I guess this is not the appropriate time for those kind of questions. The off-topic questions, we'll keep it on topic here.
Okay.
Nirm is still trying to find his way over to Great Palace to finish it up. And again, Great Palace was a little bit non-standard in terms you had to take a drop out of sequence and then make some left-hand turns. So I'm looking at the map here, and I don't know. I missed a few rooms to start. There was an elevator room on the way somewhere that led up to the hook room. There may be a chance that he can go through that fun room you died in.
Yes.
And arrive at that hook room, go down to that elevator room, and to the right, there's Dark Lake. So just because he's not going to take the drop, or potentially not taking the drop in Eon room, the Enchantress of Numbers room with the collapsible bridge, doesn't mean he cannot arrive at Dark Lake. There may be a secondary path to get to him.
Yeah, that'd be pretty silly to think that there was only the one way that I took to get there, because there's a heck of a lot of rooms in the Grand Palace and elevators.
Yeah, we only seen 2 of the 4 elevator rooms. We've seen 0 of the dead end rooms, the right side dead end rooms.
Yeah.
But we did see all the floors of the drop room. We only didn't see the top side of one drop room. Actually, Yeah, the top side of one drop room is going to be the bottom of the L7 room, so it's not really like it's the bottom of the top. You know what I mean? It's like it's weird, man. It blows my mind.
Yeah, we didn't see the fairy room. Not the one where you use fairy, but the one where the fairy lives in the elevator.
Yeah, that's true, and that's definitely a. There's a lot of here's Nirm going down now. There's a lot of common rooms, and you play this most of the time with Great Palace shortened, and if we didn't explain that before, that means that 25 to 50% of the rooms are removed from Great Palace, and only the rooms that have 2 entrances or exits, if you will, in them, like the room Nirm's in right now, and rooms like this, the drop room it's a major room, it's a key room. These will never be taken away. So you kind of try to count those to get the feel of where you are, how much is left, where you need to go. And you can't really do that with the Great Palace.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra walking, extra rooms.
There was a question in chat. What is your favorite gas station snack food? And somebody did answer correctly. King Horn is on the ball here. Andy Cap hot fries is definitely the go-to. If the gas station has Andy Cap hot fries, you grab it because you don't really see them anywhere else. At least where I live.
Oh man, those things are so hot,
dude. But like the mess on your hands as well. It's like it's a messy food.
Dude. Yeah, we used to get those on trips, man, going from Cincinnati to Cleveland. Hot mouth. Good times. So he went left.
Yeah, he went a non-traditional way, and I guess, it's not going to pay off for him because he's going to be in a dead-end room here, and he's going to have to go back. And this is where you up-aid rather than walking 2 rooms and casting Fairy one more time and going through it. I think you already lost a life at that point. You decided just to up-aid because there was just, so few rooms.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I'd already lost a life, and I think I'd already game overed, so I was like, yeah, right. We know what this thing can be.
So you saw Yunus grab a jar up there. He also hit a bird knight out as well. And you see Nirm breaking the block as well. And you're like, well, why didn't anything drop? Well, that's because Yunus took it already, and the seeds linked themselves. And only one person can get the jar. It's the first one there that arrives on it. Imagine that happens. Imagine I was telling the truth there. Can we do that?
We can
where like items.
We can make anything up, I think.
Yeah, it's like, man.
Yeah, so that is what happens, and then he just hits it, and all that's gonna come out are bird knights, if anything. It's a bird knights or nothing.
Like even Legend of Zelda, see if we can get Fred on that. Like any heart container that's out there, just first come, first serve, and it's removed from the pool of the other person. And then you just kind of like, it's like some sort of battle versus,
That would be amazing, actually.
It would be. That would be good. But the logical answer, the true answer, is that Nirm stabbed the block, but it wasn't in the hitbox of where the jar would be. He had to hit a little bit higher, even though it was in the block that he broke. There's a secondary hitbox for it, or so to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
But these first rooms, man, they were wild. We were kind of questioning whether were you too low on health, even though you had all that magic. And right about now, I think this was the room, or the room prior, you had to use life twice to get through it.
Yeah, I did. I used life a lot. The downstab blocks room, I used up all my magic and then ended up killing both the bird knights against the wall because they were jerks and they deserved it. Oh! He didn't have any magic.
No, he did not. He saved it, and then he took another bath when he was full magic there. So he's 1 life left, and now he's going to cast Fairy immediately. I like what you do here, because I do that as well when it's mixed small and large enemies. If you're going to cast Fairy and drop, just break open the bridge, cast Fairy, and go underneath. Avoid the chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't... You're right. I'll try to sneak by and save my magic, but I was just starting to get worn out a little bit, there's fatigue involved.
There's also the hope that there's a red jar on the horizon, because there are very many in Great Palace. Yeah, so we'll do that. And he's in the lesser of the fun rooms here, if you can call it that. Fun
Ooh.
room.
Nice up stabs. Spending them all. Wow.
Yeah, he gets through.
3 hits to kill it.
So Dig Shake ran out of here because he knew the question was coming. He knew that we were going to have this little bit of a downtime and time to reflect and have to talk to each other. Where I was going to ask him, hey, Dig Shake, why don't you give us a sneak preview on the next version of the randomizer? Why don't you give us some features that are in the works and stuff like that? But he didn't stay along for that. Is there anything that could be done that maybe another game does, that you think, hey, like I would love for that to be in there for consistent flags of racing?
I think moving the key doors around in the dungeons might that be interesting? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, with the logic of you need fairy or magic key to potentially, to most likely do palaces, it doesn't matter where the key doors are, but then again, it presents an interesting dynamic when they're not in the rooms you normally see them in. It could just, confuse you, or I guess maybe it could not even mean anything, but it all depends on where they get moved to and how easy it is to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I have to wonder if a further rework would be required to make that actually an interesting feature.
Chat says the next version of Randomizer will come out right after Half-Life 3. That's harsh. But no, Kingdom Hearts 3. That's on the horizon, though.
Oh, Nerm's in the room.
It's in the room. This is the...
Through.
Yeah, we're not going to name this one after you. I've named rooms after too many people. Jackamus Room. We have not seen the Jackamus Room. We call this one the Jackamus Room in the community because... Jackamus Wedge, and there's your fairy room right away. So let me continue this map here. Jack to fairy to waffle. Jackamus Wedge went through that room and died in the next room in one of the tournaments, the 2016 tournament, Zelda 2 Randomizer tournament. And then rather than go back the way he came when he respawned after the game over, he decided, screw it, I didn't like that room, I'm going the other way. Went the other way, and like one room later, won the game. So meanwhile, his opponent, which I think was DH2284, whatever his numbers are in his name, survived the going down in that room and progressing, and just found like the hugest of loops.
Wow.
Yeah, we're pretty, those who name rooms are, just guy did something in room. Oh, it's named after him, and then that's it. It's like Yankee retired numbers. It's like, guy played on the Yankees, retire the number. That's how it is.
Are any of the rooms named after good things people did in those rooms? Like where they actually did well?
Enchantress and Numbers room.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, chat wants to know what the Enchantress and Numbers... There's our first dead end room right there. That's a bad dead end to find, too, because that's going to mean he's... Well, no, he can go left in the fairy room and left in the Jackamus room as well. So now that Dig Shake's not here, I can bring it up. It's named the Enchantress of Numbers room because also in the 2016 Zelda 2 randomizer race, Dig Shake and Enchantress of Numbers were neck and neck right into that room. Dig Shake decided to dip right, and Eon, she decided to just drop. And she drops, she goes right, she finds Thunderbird. Dig Shake finds like a room and then a dead end or a dead end right away and has to come back to take the drop. And she won like by 30 seconds, under a minute or so, and gave Dig Shake his first loss, which you took advantage of.
Yeah.
When you faced him in the finals, and he was already down in a double elimination tournament, down 1 loss.
Yeah,
and,
she softened him up for me.
Yeah, and then you finished him off. He took one from you, but then you got him.
Oh yeah, he got me good.
We
basically were tied in that tournament, and it's not really a clear victory.
And he did get his revenge when he defeated Nierm, actually, in the finals of the 2017 Zelda 2 randomizer tournament. So both Unos and Nierm represented, and Dig Shake represented in the finals. And in me, I probably commentated at least one of those races. So we were all involved in the finals in some way.
Yeah. Dig Shake, he just he took 2 out of 3 on me to get to Nirm and then take him out. Oh, this is the backtrack.
Yeah, this is where Nirm was before when he found the dead end. He had to go backwards and cast Fairy to get back over
He
where
knows what he did.
where he broke the block, and we all said, we're talking about the hitboxes and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, he knows where he is. He just doesn't want to accept it right now.
No.
He just wants to be done, I think.
I oversold Great Palace, like Long Great Palace. I was really making it to be the most scariest place in the world, but it kind of is. You don't go the right way, and you continue to just take these branches that don't go the right way, and you kind of lose your bearings, and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go.
The idea of beating a Long Great Palace without having to up an A or without taking an unintentional game over, that's pretty far-fetched.
And then to do it when you start the race or start the seed on 3 heart containers, max 7 heart containers. If you want to go fast, you have to. Something has to be sacrificed, and sometimes it's health and levels. Nirm has the maximum amount of heart containers he can have, maximum amount of healthy life levels he can have, but certainly it's not fun to be low. And he finally gets the jar 1 out of 3.
At least life spell is more than 3 bars.
Yeah, what is it randomized? 3 to 5?
It could be 1 to 5.
Oh, 1 to 5. That's right.
Yeah, it could have been terrible.
Oh yeah, you have it. What is normally though? It's normally
3.
3? Okay. I was complaining today in the race that it was only 3, and then I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second. Wait a second.
And then the vanilla game, it's prohibitively expensive to cast in a lot of cases. It goes down to 50, I think, at the lowest. Good luck casting that on the T-Bird fight with anything else, besides shield.
Yeah, when you burned that gem, we went over the spell levels and everything, and I made a case for you thinking that the magic really wasn't going to help you, because you potentially didn't need to cast anything in Great Palace. Didn't need to cast Thunder, and stuff like that. But or even if you did, there's no guarantee any of the spells would go down either.
Yeah. I kind of just wanted to go, and I guess I just wanted to make it a little harder on myself in a way. I just,
Need the challenge.
I like it. I like to keep it a challenge and show off a little bit for the restream.
Yeah, there's one other guy who does the you're definitely a guy who likes the challenge. Dig Shake likes the challenge as well, but the guy that really scares me that likes the challenge is Zarnax.
No, man.
Because we talk about anybody who makes flags for any of the games. Like, this guy can make some flags, man, and enjoy them while you're just sitting there. I'd be like, why would this guy even think this is fun? And you turn on his stream after you forfeit, and he's laughing. He's enjoying it. He's like, this is great.
Yeah, no. Zarnax is fantastic at this, and doing wacky, difficult flags, if anything, I think. That's a lot of the fun of randomizers, though, when you really haven't ever, not just, you haven't done the seed before, so you don't know where everything's going to be, but also you haven't even maybe, used the settings in the way that you've used them this time, and so you really have to, figure out everything. Kind of make a lot of decisions.
Nirm's not looping. He took a drop that did actually, I guess he did loop, but he righted the ship. He's on the right path here. So all these rooms you're seeing within the last, half a dozen rooms are all been rooms that are actually pushing him towards the Darklink. And we haven't seen Thunderbird either. Where is Thunderbird? He might be up in that elevator room and then beyond the hook room.
Yeah.
Because there are two dead ends left. So I got to assume that beyond that hook room is going to be in the last of the elevator rooms. And then, actually, no, we only saw 2 of the 4. Did we?
There are 3 rightward dead ends, and one of them would be behind T-Bird. Well, plus Darklink.
Yeah, so if you go up in that hook room and go right, you have to arrive at the other stuff, the other 2 dead end rooms. Ooh. And Thunderbird. So yeah.
Well, that or the fun room that I noped out on, the one with the spiced chicken on the left side.
Right. Yeah.
I think that those are the 2 rooms that lead to the 2 dead ends plus a Thunderbird somewhere in there.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. You have to you going left to right in that room, so it goes down to.
Yeah.
I don't know what room it can go down into.
Another theater
Maybe a
room,
theater room.
or chicken and waffle. I don't know. Did we see the chicken and waffle room with the jar in it?
No, we have not. We did not see that one. I do not believe. I didn't mark it on my map here.
Yeah, it might be there.
But we're one room away here from Nirm. And I saw you went up in that elevator there first. Did you want to just get the lay of the land in case this room went through to the other side?
Yeah, I wanted to see what was up there in case I game over, like if it looked like the fun room or something, the one with the chicken in it or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
I could just come back. But yeah, so that room above, the hook room, Buzz Thunder wants to call it the paperclip room. He thinks it looks like a paperclip. What do you think about that?
I just think he wants to name stuff too much.
Okay.
And doesn't like when stuff is named without his approval. How about that?
Oh,
no, he didn't know you called it the hook room, and I started catching on with the hook room as well. And there's Dark Link defeated from Nirm right there. So 157-21. So I think we'll have a couple minutes here to talk to him. Did Dig Shake fill you in on what happened in Nirm throughout the course of the race?
Yeah, he said that he went in all in on Death Mountain. I didn't. That was the basics of it.
Yeah, well, we'll get him in here and I'll explain to him. I'll have him say it.
I hope he comes in.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. And here he is now. Hey, Nirm, how's it going? Or is that Donnie Donadello? We'll see if we can get him here in a second. He'll just say hi when you can hear us. But yeah, it's just a fun race. I like that. How'd you guys come across the selection for these flags? And there he is right now.
There we go. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I've had better days.
So why don't you talk to us? Let's start at the beginning of the seed when you realized that there was only one way to go, and you got the early raft. The decision to go to the Eastern Continent in like minute number 2. What were you looking for?
I was really hoping that there would be an encounter over there that would be easy to farm, or some quick bags or something like that. Obviously, taking a game over really quickly is not the way you want to start out. And so hopefully I was going to head east, maybe pick up something. I did find the boots relatively quickly, but I don't really think they helped a lot, but ultimately.
You found quite a few bags as well, so you were able to get some levels. You were able to get to... When you finally got into level 2, you saw the 50-point Stalfoses. You grabbed a couple levels there, or at least one level there. But you predominantly were in the Eastern Continent, while Unos was in the Western Continent for the first maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then the two of you swapped, and you went over to the West, and he went over to the East. But the deciding factor, obviously, was Death Mountain. So what was your thought process when you were in Death Mountain? Like, what were you going for, and what was your goal?
I figured maybe there'd be something good in Death Mountain. Obviously, I didn't have the magic key yet, and the ferry cost at that point was like 51 or something like that, and I had like a whole four bars at that point, so I really didn't want to dig through palaces. That sounded pretty awful to me. And so I figured, hey, I'll take a chance on Death Mountain, and obviously that was a blow-up. But I think the really big thing that hurt me is at some point in that race, I went on complete autopilot and stopped tracking everything I was doing, and so I spent a fair amount of time looking for a cave that didn't exist, and I had no idea where any of the towns or the palaces that I'd already been to were, and that tilted me off the face of the planet. Like Death Mountain taking a long time to get through, having a magic cave to get to the Spectacle Rock, that's whatever, that's par for the course, but it's really the forgetting where things are and just not tracking properly that really set me on tilt.
Yeah, and that water tile over in the Eastern Continent that wasn't the water tile. I mean, that kind of flipped you off before you even got to Death Mountain.
Oh, I definitely have some choice words for Dig Shake on that one.
And then
I want
when
to.
you find,
I want to know what he said when I jumped on that tile like 50,000 times.
oh, he was laughing. That's about it. I said everything for him.
I see.
I said everything for you, actually. How about that? But yeah. So unfortunately, you did take the loss there. The Death Mountain excursion did not pan out for you, and just like anything, it's, you know, when something goes wrong, it goes wrong. You started going for other items, knowing you needed to find the kid to get to the reflect spell, and then you find the P bag in Palace 6.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too big of a thing. Another reason why I dug Death Mountain is because I knew we had mixed large and small and a long GP coming up. So at the very worst, you know, I'd pick up, you know, some extra heart containers, which is exactly what happened, or, you know, something like maybe like a jar or something. I'd be better off for GP. But it's just the fact that it took 25 to 30 minutes for me to find Spectacle Rock was pretty brutal.
Yeah, and you didn't have any gems placed there, and your whole trip there, Yunos had his 3rd gem placed, I think, just before you got to the Spectacle Rock. What do you think about the Long Grey Palace in retrospect to playing a lot of ones that were short and Grey Palace?
Honestly, it wasn't too bad. Obviously, I mean, there were a couple of rooms in there that were pretty nasty. Like there was a fun room that had 2 blue facas and 2 spicy chickens or whatever, but it could have been much worse. I think ultimately it was actually a really straightforward GP. Like a lot of the dead ended very quickly. There wasn't too many like loops or anything like that. And then the one drops did set me back, but I had already been there, and so I knew I was going backwards at that point. So like ultimately it was pretty straightforward.
And chat wants to know, what is your favorite gas station food item?
Gas station food item. I haven't been to a gas station in a long time. Just to pick up
hot fries.
Hot fries are a good one. Yeah, I had hot fries as a kid. Probably haven't had them in like 10 years. But yeah, we used to get hot fries all the time. Andy Caps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, those were good, but they would you'd be lighting up your sheets at nighttime. That's for sure.
What does that even mean? I don't know, but yeah. So I think I was going to ask the question. I don't remember if I asked the question, Eunice, and you answered me, and I just ignored you. But how did you guys arrive at these unique flags to race?
Nerm, I think he was in my stream, and he said, "Hey, what are we gonna race?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What do you think?" And he's like, "Well, how about this and that?" And I was like, "Okay."
That is literally the extent of what happened.
That is a fascinating story. I love
know,
the part about
right?
Celine Dion. I don't know how much time we have left. If we're going over to Crim now, doing Zelda 1 randomizer, or if we're asking about more favorite
He
foods.
should
But
be
this
ready.
was,
It's time.
yeah, this was a great race. Thanks you guys for doing it. Thank you to Randomania for giving you guys the opportunity to do it, and hope everyone enjoys the rest of the tournament, the rest of the marathon.
Kept you all on schedule. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Good race,
guys.
Eunice.
Yeah, good game, man.
All right, take care, everyone.